Now, page 4, positive prayers for the president. Evangelist Franklin Graham is leading a nationwide pray-in for Donald Trump. Now, this is not the phony, sarcastic, self-serving, and partisan prayers that Nancy Pelosi claims to be saying on behalf of the 45th president. Who knows exactly what Pelosi is praying for anyway? She's probably praying for him to succumb to the vicious, vacuous, and relentless Democrat attacks, that the president buckles under the weight of impeachment. Who knows? But with Franklin Graham, we do know exactly what he is praying for Donald Trump. This Sunday, June 2nd, the Reverend Graham wants Americans to ask God to protect, strengthen, embolden, and direct the president against his political foes. Yep, that Graham sees what this Graham sees: a president who is under assault by a bunch of political hacks who are also targeting the Trump family and the Article 2 branch of government itself. No president in the history of this republic has been the subject of these kinds of attacks. No other president comes close. And Franklin Graham says that God is the president's only hope. The power of prayer can produce incredible results. Millions of Americans praying to protect and guide Donald Trump is a wonderfully positive antidote to the phony call for anti-Trump prayer from the partisan Speaker of the House. And let's face it, Nancy's army is privately all in for impeachment, even if a few of them, like Virginia Delegate Stacey Plaskett, publicly deny it.
You know, whatever word she had used, whether she had said investigation, whether she had said cover-up, whether she had said...
Stop tape. Let me explain to you, Madam Delegate, the difference between an investigation and a cover-up. One is a process, the other is a crime, necessarily tied to a crime. An investigation is it's what Robert Mueller was supposed to be doing. And remember Robert Mueller's charter. It was very simple: investigate Russian interference in the 2016 election. Had nothing to do with obstruction, by the way, but that's a different story. So if he's investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election cycle, then why didn't he include Christopher Steele, who, by the way, was a foreign influence himself, but a foreign influence who was apparently dealing directly with Russia and Russians? And we don't know how far high up, possibly the Kremlin itself. So why didn't Robert Mueller include Christopher Steele and his connections to the DNC, the Democrat National Committee, and his connections to Hillary Clinton? This is mind-boggling to me because the charter is pretty clear, but it's pretty open, pretty wide. So why wouldn't Robert Mueller and company go after that aspect of, if the dossier that this Christopher Steele built is not interference, attempted interference in the 2016 election campaign, then what is? So why didn't Robert Mueller, in his investigation, go down that path? That's the question I would love to ask him. If he is paraded before Congress, I hope and pray somebody on the Republican side has the backbone to ask Robert Mueller, why didn't you investigate Christopher Steele and Russian interference there? Now, a cover-up, Madam Delegate, is something completely different. A cover-up can be a crime itself, or it's part of a crime. It's covering up, if you will, for a crime, something bad that took place. And so when Nancy Pelosi comes out and says the President of the United States is covering up, she knows what she's doing. She's insinuating to everybody in the mainstream media who's going to be the echo chamber, and anybody on the Democrat side who's listening, and those of us on the other side who have a brain, she is insinuating that a crime was committed by the President of the United States. So what is the cover-up? What is the crime? What is Nancy Pelosi alluding to here? Well, there's nothing there. If she's alluding to the fact that the President of the United States is not turning over paperwork that is sensitive material, and some of it would be a crime if he released it to the United States Congress and the House of Representatives, is she's referring to that, is she's referring to documents that support the investigation of the Robert Mueller report, if she's referring anything related to the Robert Mueller investigation, the fact that the President of the United States is not cooperating with the crazy demands from the Article 1, one half of the Article 1 branch of government, that is not a cover-up. That is the Article 2 branch using the separation of powers.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.